When we first moved here, this was the normal form of transport for loads of our neighbours. We've moved on a bit since then, and we've now acquired quite a bit more equipment in order to look after the land. When the bakers are delivering the bread, this is how we let them know how many loaves we'd like. These are our 5 dogs. There's, from the left, Rosa, Blanca, Turca, Lolly and Nombre. Unfortunately, Rosa is no longer with us since she succumbed last August to kidney and liver failure, thanks to being poisoned 4 times in her life by the locals who put out poisoned meat, supposedly kill the foxes. It's illegal, but unfortunately it's one of those things that happens. So we're down to 4 dogs now and 2 chickens. The Rambla below our house normally looks like this, but if it rains very hard in the mountains, you can see what happens, and we effectively get cut off while this is running. But it doesn't take long for it to turn back to what you see here. And here is the access to our land from the Rambla. It's been washed away loads of times, and I've had to repair it every single time to be able to get onto these pieces of land that are now under drip irrigation, which is a bit different from when we first moved here. For our own convenience, we've given numbers to each of our pieces of land. This is called T1, and this is a pear tree in blossom. This is the garden, or huerto, and then this is T2, and you can see the hut on top of the what's called the aljibe. And this slope runs down to T5 and T4. And this is a pomegranate tree, which was enormous, but I've cut it down and it's regrown. We had to have this slope made so we could get the tractor onto T5, and this slope as well so we can get onto T4, which you can see from one end. Agricultural water passes by every 17 days in the main water channel called the Mother Acequia. We have to buy this at the local water auction twice a year, and the price varies enormously. Normally we buy about, between 3 and 4 hours. And then once we've got it, we're allocated a time, and unfortunately ours is normally in the middle of the night. So we're out using the local hose called avadas to move the water around in amongst ridges we were previously made by hand and then later on by the tractor. It's awfully back-breaking work, and now we don't do it that way at all. We've got a new irrigation system which you'll see later on. And lo and behold, there it is. It's a 400,000 litre water tank known as a balsa around here, which we fill up every 17 days using a motorised pump. Once we've finished that, we can use it whenever we like, employing this drip irrigation system, which consists of a series of valves in a hut below it to be able to put the water on whatever piece of land we want to at the time. Also, as you can see here from the 60 litre yellow tank, we can put fertiliser in, or when we finish fertilising, we can then clean it using nitric acid, and it's a bit of a dangerous job to do, so it involves gloves and you should wear a mask really. This is a darn sight easier to do than wandering around in the middle of the night with torches and hose. So, and a lot of the locals have actually taken up this system as well now, having seen how it works. Over the years we've progressed from the 2-wheeled ancient rotavator you see here to an articulated Pasquale, and then onto the final tractor which we use today, along with loads of other bits of equipment. We don't do any rotavating much at all now, as we used to, because of the drip system. So we tend just to use the green bucket on the back and the trailer, and most important, the mower, which is a flail mower, an extremely powerful flail mower. I did a lot of work with this equipment for the neighbours for about 6 years, until the boss decided it was time for me to retire. A few years ago, we decided to take advantage of the sun that we have here. So we installed a solar water heating system. Those are the tubes at the back. And then a couple of years ago, decided that it would be a good idea to add an electricity system. This doesn't replace the existing system, but it certainly supplements the existing one. And I suppose we use probably a third or a quarter of the amount of units that we used to use. And we don't suffer from power cuts now. When we bought this house, we assumed that we'd bought a house, a barn, and quite a bit of land. In fact, it turned out we bought 2 houses, a small barn attached to it, and quite a few outbuildings, and of course a lot of land. We've had conversions done in there so that there is, in fact, a bathroom and an old-fashioned kitchen, so that when some of us come in rather filthy from working on the tractor, there's a shower available without having to go into the main house. And we call it, lovingly, La Casa de Paco, which is Paco's house, but that's a historic thing. On the other side of the Rambla, there's a place called Barranco Perejil. In English, it means Parsley Ravine. Over there, sometimes we walk the dogs, and we also have a post box at the entrance. The other day, when the boss was out walking, she discovered these footprints, and this is one of the examples of something which has become quite a pest here, and that's wild boar. They dig round the base of the trees looking for grubs and worms and such like, and in fact they've been known to bite through my drip system. And our friend Juan has lost loads of his produce, vegetables, potatoes, all sorts of things, from the garden below his house, further down the Rambla. They're a bit of a pain. And finally, there's the view north to the Las Estancias up the Rambla. There we are. That's it. Thanks for watching.